how to use chains on your barbell. So first things first is, how do you determine how much chain weight to use? So whether you're doing max effort or you're doing dynamic effort, speed effort, you're gonna be using about 20% chain weight. And typically chains come in 10, 15, 20 pound increments. You can also get them cut specifically to be a certain amount of load that you want. And so some people are gonna have 1 or 2 chains, other people are gonna have more. There can also be circumstances where your 20% of your 1 rep max in chain weight is actually 5 chains, and we can't put 2.5 over here and 2.5 over here. So typically we would default to the lower accommodating resistance, maybe for like 1 or 2 waves, and then add, and then go up to the next one. So instead of having 2 chains per side, even though you really need 5 total, you would put on 3 chains per side and get a total of 6 after you had done a couple of waves at the less accommodating resistance. So in order to set this up, you typically have a leader chain or a skinnier, thinner chain that's gonna attach your actual chain to your barbell. Some gyms also have like canvas straps that you can utilize. Either way, what we're looking for here is that when the bar is racked, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 chains on the floor, because when we pick the bar up out of the monolith or out of the J-hooks, we want there to be 2 or 3 chains touching the ground. So depending on how big your pickup is probably gonna depend on how many chains are touching the ground to start. We do not want to be completely deloaded. So for instance, when you pick up the bar, chains need to be touching the floor. It can't just be swinging. That's not what we're looking for. Additionally, I like to keep about a hand width between the collar and where the chain actually goes. And I will, as I go up in load, you can put your heavier plates on the inside, whatever those are, and then you can add on the outside as well. But just to start, I like to make sure that your chains are equidistant apart from either the inside plate weight that you have or the collar. And so that is how you are going to set up your barbell with chains. And I would also recommend weighing your chains just so that you're consistent. It doesn't necessarily, like I said, you're gonna be using a total weight that's a 20% of your 1 rep max, whatever the movement is, squat, deadlift, bench. But you wanna be consistent with that number across time. So weigh your chains.